Hey guys, what's going on? This is Shash Singh from Linx Digital University. In this video, I'm going to break down all the different types of YouTube ads that are out there, and I'm going to explain how to set them up and so on. So let's get right into it. So guys, the first thing we're going to do is cover the different YouTube video ad formats that you can use, right? So there's skippable in-stream, which is basically, you got different bidding methods, but it's basically an in-stream ad that shows up in front of a video. I'll show you an example here. So basically that. So skippable in-stream ads are by far the most popular style of ads that are out there on YouTube. We spend 95% of our budget at our agency on skippable in-stream ads, and that's because they produce ROI and they're really effective, especially true view for action kind of format. Now with these skippable in-stream ads, there's a few different types of bidding methods, and I'm actually going to cover those right now. When you go inside Google Ads, you click a new campaign, and I typically click here, no guidance, because this gives you all the options. I go on video, and so there's different options you can have, right? So if you click on drive conversions, you'll have two bidding options. The first is target CPA, and this is basically where you bid a certain amount per conversion, and this is where we spend 70 to 80% of budget on. This works super well. And then the other is maximize conversions, and basically what that does is you tell Google, hey, go spend $50, but try to get as many conversions as possible. So with target CPA, sometimes it doesn't spend as much, while with maximize conversions, it will spend every single time. Maybe you won't get as many conversions as you'd like. Now, those are a couple options. Then there's some other options as well. So if you go into new campaign, video, and click custom. So a few other options are maximum CPV, which is basically you bid a certain amount per cost per view. So it's like you're basically telling Google, hey, for this targeting option, I'm willing to pay 30 cents per view, right? So that's how maximum CPV works. Or target CPM, where you're trying to get a target cost per 1,000 impressions, and that's really more of a branding play, right? For us, we find target CPM maximize conversion to work really well. We never use target CPM or max CPV these days. So one thing that's really important when you're doing this is you need to make sure that when you're setting up the campaigns that you disable this and just show up on YouTube videos for in-stream ads. This will ensure that you get much better results. All right, guys, let's get into the next type of video ads, and this is video discovery ads. So video discovery ads are a really cool format, right? So what they do is they'll show up either in the search results when somebody searches for a video or for a keyword on YouTube. They'll show up on the watch page. So if here's an example, right, like there's a video and then right below it, there's like basically a link and an ad to watch another video. And they'll also show up on the YouTube homepage. So search results on the YouTube videos themselves, on the watch pages and the homepage. So those are the three places video discovery ads can show up. Now, video discovery ads have some uses. In certain niches, you can use them to basically build your subscribers list up. So basically you can really put longer videos with this ad format, and what people do is they'll click on the discovery ad and they'll be taken to watch the full video. So that's the way it works. You go find a video. So let's try that. Let's try make money online. So let's try this, right? So here's an example of a video discovery ad that shows up on a search result, right? And what you do is you click here and you can see it's a 35-minute video, and it's basically a YouTube video about, something, right? So this is really great for building subscribers, because somebody watches 10-15 minutes of this, they're pretty likely to subscribe, and this is a great way to get more engagement on your channel. Video discovery ads also really good for retargeting your existing website visitors as well as your YouTube channel viewers, because you can retarget people who watched a video or people who are subscribed or people who visited your website. And this is really awesome, because what you're doing here is essentially you're able to kind of show up in front of those people with a new ad placement and give them basically a long form of content so they engage with you and they move down that journey of basically buying from you, right? Because Usually people need at least 6 to 7 touch points before they purchase from you, and you're giving them a touch point here with a long form piece of content that can often work in convincing them to actually purchase from you. Now, the way the billing works for video discovery ads is you basically pay per view every time they click on an ad to watch your video. So when they click on the ad to go to your video watch page and watch it, that's when you pay. And you usually bid a CPV amount, right? So you bid like, okay, I want to have a CPV bid of $1, so I'm willing to pay up $1 for a view on this video for this search result, right? And typically you use them a lot with keywords. So when people search for certain keywords inside YouTube, then your video can show up in front of that. So that's a great way to do it. And also it will show up in related videos about whatever keyword or topic you choose. So video discovery ads are pretty cool. We don't really spend that much on them, but we do spend a little bit. So they can be a really great second replacement. All right, guys, so to set up a video discovery campaign, once again, click on plus, new campaign, go to, I go here. You can go do this as well, but I like to do this. Click on video, and what you'll do is you'll click on custom video campaign. You'll do maximum CPV, right? And then what you'll do is you'll add your video in here, and you'll click in video discovery ad, right? So the cool thing is you can choose a few different thumbnails from the video, and you'll have a headline. So it's like get green tea, and there'll be a first description. So L-theanine, and then better than coffee. Let's do that. So you can see in the desktop version, right, it barely shows up. By the way, as a related ad, so this is going to be a video up here, and it's going to show up here. As a YouTube search ad, it's going to show up in people's search for results. In both cases on the mobile version, you barely see anything except for this title. So it's really important to get this headline right. So make sure to pack as much good information as you can, and keep in mind there's a character limit. So that energizes. So as you can see, you can only really see only part of the title. So keep that in mind. On desktop, you can kind of see the whole thing, but even on desktop, the related doesn't show as much. However, you can get the first and second line in there as well. So that's really important to keep in mind. And then you create the campaign. So that's how you do it. Now let's talk about non-skippable in-stream ads, right? So I'll try to find you an example here. So as you can see with this ad here, right? Basically with a non-skippable in-stream ad, you can't skip it. And I believe it's only up to 15 seconds. And you're paying every single time somebody watches it, and because they can't skip it, you pay every single time. Now with a typical in-stream skippable ad, because they can skip it, you only get charged if somebody watches it, right? Like at least with some of the bidding types. With other bidding types, you get charged on basically a CPM basis based on how the algorithm works. Now we don't really recommend this. You're gonna spend a lot of money and not really get any results from this. The only case you would use this for is if you're a big company like Nike or something where you want to get in front of as many people as possible, and that's where one of these basically ad formats can work, right? Because people can't skip it. They have to watch 15 seconds of an ad. And if you're a car company or Nike or something, you can basically have a 15-second clip that reminds people of your brand, and they're like, okay, yeah, Nike is the king of shoes, basically. So it's not something I would use for direct response. All right, guys, so I'm going to show you how to set up a non-skippable in-stream ad. I'm going to go here, click video, and what you're going to do is you're going to click on non-skippable in-stream, right? And you only really have target CPM bidding, so you're basically paying on a cost per 1,000 basis. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your video in here. And again, you have the call to action allowed in here, and you can enter that in. So you'll enter your URL, your display URL, and then you'll have a second link here that they can click on to get your website. Again, because it's 15 seconds non-skippable, I don't think it's a really great idea. Now, as always, make sure to exclude video partners on the display network, because then you might show up in apps and other websites. And initially, to start with, you just want to stick to YouTube videos, right? So you can get better results. So yeah, and then basically with this ad format, right, they can't skip this. So you're going to pay every single time somebody even sees an impression of this. So yeah, guys, so that's how you do a non-skippable in-stream ad. Now, let's talk about bumper ads, right? So here's an example for bumper ad for House of Cards.
What real?
Here's an example of a real ad.
Vote Bernie Sanders. Who's your daddy?
And I can show you how to set these up. So what you do is you'll click on plus, new campaign. I always go with without a goal. Click on video, customize video campaign. Okay, so basically with bumper ads, you can only do target CPM, right? And then you can do a bumper ad. You can actually add a URL and a call to action in here. The only issue with 6 seconds, you really don't have any opportunity to convince people to do anything, right? So bumper ads, I would say, are definitely an ad format that I don't recommend. Again, it's a big branding play, but even for branding, like 6 seconds is way too short. You're going to be paying a pretty high price for it. I recommend sticking to in-stream skippable ads with target CPA or maximize conversions bidding type. All right, so let's move on to Outstream ads, right? This is another ad format, and it's not on YouTube, but it's on partner websites, so it's kind of like the display network. However, they're kind of like basically in-stream ads, but on other people's websites. So to give you an example of Outstream ads, basically here's a screenshot I found, right? It basically shows up in third-party websites and is basically it's a video ad. They don't show up on YouTube, and they're mobile only, right? So they show up on third-party websites. They don't show up on YouTube. They are mobile only, and you get charged when people see your video play for 2 seconds, right? So if they're scrolling through and they see 2 seconds of your video, you get charged. And this is called viewable cost per 1,000 impressions. Now, this isn't on YouTube technically, but I wanted to cover this as this is part of kind of Google's video offerings. So I wanted to really cover that. Now, how do you create an Outstream campaign? I'm going to show you how to do that. Click on new campaign, click on basically create a campaign without a goals guidance. Click on video, and then you click on Outstream, right? So you'll enter in your video here, and this is kind of what it will show up. So as you can see, there's not really a skip button. It kind of plays. Usually it's like silent on the background and they can click to hear it. So they'll click this button to hear it. But it's basically an ad format to show up in even more places on the Google Display Network. And really it's a potentially great retargeting option, right? So you can kind of just show your brand and your face in front of other people. So again, this is viewable CPM, and yep, so that's how you do that side. Again, it's not really a priority, but if you want to do some retargeting setup with this, I think it's a good idea. Again, this is like kind of the 99-1 of YouTube ads is in-stream skippable ads with target CPA and maximize conversions. Figure that out. And then these extra types are really cool to know about, but they don't make a huge difference. So let's talk about discovery ads, right? So discovery ads is something that's kind of new. They can either show up on YouTube, they can show up on Gmail, they can show up on Google homepage. So what it is there's usually 3 images and a logo, right? So here's an example of the discovery ads, right? So on YouTube, as you can see, you have the example on the left. It'll go to the website, right? So it takes you directly to the website. But as you can see, there's like an image, there's a big button, and it kind of looks native, right? It doesn't look that out of place on YouTube. Same thing on Google Home, the homepage, right? This is basically for Android phones, but you'll see that, oh, yep, this is an image, and basically there's a link you can click on and be able to kind of click to the website. Now on the third one, this is Gmail. So on Gmail, you'll actually have a link as well, and you click on it and you'll see some images, and then you basically get taken to their homepage. So yeah, that's kind of how discovery ads are. And they're actually a pretty good format because you can optimize for conversions with these discovery ads. So you can get some pretty good results. So what you need for this is you need a logo and 3 images, and Google will optimize for the conversions, right? So once you get those 3 images, you'll basically be able to optimize for conversions, which is really cool. So you can get better results, and it converts reasonably well for us. It's not like amazing, but there are some good results we're getting from this. Now, what's important to know about this is that it's really great for retargeting because there's images, it's like a big kind of image, and it grabs attention. So it's really recommended if you're trying to retarget people, but it can also work with cold traffic. Like we've had a few campaigns on one of our offers that's done well with discovery ads with cold campaigns. All right, so I'm going to show you how to set up a discovery campaign. So what you do is click new campaign, as always, create a campaign without a goal audience. And what you do instead of video is you click on discovery, right? Now, once you click on discovery, you can actually focus on optimizing for conversions and have a target CPA. Usually I would keep this, let's say if you're aiming for $10 leads, aim for a $12 target CPA or a $14 target CPA. So there's some space to basically, spend, right? And one thing you want to really keep in mind with this is, so with the discovery campaigns, right, you have the option of either choosing audiences. So there's in-market audiences, there's detailed demographics, affinity, remarketing, custom audiences. So there's a lot of targeting options. However, you don't have topics and you don't have some of the other options, right, like placements, etc. And obviously you can narrow down by targeting. Now with the ads themselves, you can choose a discovery carousel ad or a discovery ad. So a typical normal discovery ad is you have a headline, you have descriptions, right? You can have more headlines and more descriptions, right? And it'll kind of filter and it'll basically kind of rotate them around and optimize for the ones that work best. And as I mentioned, you'll want to make sure that you'll have the images, right? So one landscape or square image, one portrait image, and one logo is the minimum that you need. So yeah, that's kind of how you do it. And as you can see, you can have previews of basically on YouTube, Gmail, Discovery. So that's pretty cool. So for example, let's find some stock images just so you guys can have an idea of what this looks like, right? So we have a few different ratios here. Click save, and then let's say learn YouTube ads, right? Or how to scale YouTube, right? Kill it with YouTube ads. And you can have Linx digital agency, right? And then you also have a call to action text, which can be automated, or you can choose on this. So apply now. And then you obviously have the logo, which I haven't added yet, right? So this allows you to show you a preview of what it will kind of look like. So let's try adding a logo. All right, so we'll use that as the logo. Cool, so now the logo is there. You can it shows the whole thing. So this is an ad on Gmail. So for example, on the inbox, it'll look like this. And if it's open, it looks like this. And then let's try YouTube. So on YouTube, this is what it'll look like, basically with the main image, and then discover is, yeah, that's what it'll look like, right? So yeah, basically that's how you do that. Hopefully that's useful. So let's move on to the next type of ads, which are non-video ads, right? So YouTube actually has image ads that you can show up on YouTube, right? So the first thing is that you have display ads, right? So these are image ads that show up on YouTube, but you basically build them out through the Google Display Network. Again, let's go and see how you actually do this. So you click on plus, new campaign. Again, I always like to do no goal. Click display. I'll do standard display so I have more options. And I'll click continue. And you can basically set a target CPA, right? And again, you have audiences, you have demographics, and you have content targeting, which is placements, right? So placements is what I'm talking about. So you want to show up on YouTube channels, you can go in here and let's say Iman Gaji, right? Big YouTuber in that space. You click on him and bam, now you're going to show up on his channel on YouTube. Obviously, you're going to have to add in your images, and basically that will, you'll show up in there. So, and then you can see a preview of how it will look out on YouTube, right? So we'll put an image. All right, so I'm just going to choose this, select two ratios. Okay, so let's click save. All right, so on YouTube, that's how it will show up. So if you're actually trying to show up on Iman Gaji's channel, number one, you can show up on the homepage or basically, as an image like that, or you can show up on the watch page on one of his videos, and then you can add in your headline, call to action, and links and so on. So that's how you kind of set that up. Now the second option is overlay ads. So these are basically semi-transparent overlay ads. So let me show you what they look like. So this is what an overlay ad looks like, right? Like it'll show up in front of the video and you can X out of it. Now the way you set up an overlay ad is you're gonna basically have an ad it's a standard display campaign, and you're gonna target either youtube.com or specific YouTube channels placements, but you're gonna just do two sizes, right? You're gonna do 468 by 60 or 728 by 90, right? And then you're gonna use placements targeting on the YouTube channels or youtube.com to show up on the homepage. So that's what you do with overlay ads if you want your ad to show up like that. So those are kind of how you can get some image ads going on YouTube, right? And basically be able to have another placement in your arsenal. Now let's talk about the last placement, which is masthead ads, right? So these show up at the top of the YouTube homepage. They're up to 30 seconds long. They automatically play without sound, and they can choose to enable sound on both desktop and mobile. Now, this is only available through Google sales representatives on a CPM, so cost per 1,000 impressions basis, or on a cost per day basis where they charge you a certain amount. So this is only for big budgets, and it's usually pretty expensive. Really, for big brands, you have no guarantee of results. So it's kind of for like Nike or these other big brands that just want to plaster themselves all over YouTube. And it's not really a conversion focused campaign. However, if you are a big brand, that could be potentially something that you could do and experiment with. But if you are a direct response marketer, if you're trying to actually get conversions, I'm not sure how useful that would be for you. So I hope that video was useful for you guys and hopefully allowed you to see the different types of ad formats, both image and video, that you can use on YouTube, as well as discovery ads. So this should help you get some really good results with your YouTube ads / your Google ads. And guys, if you like this video, smash this like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll have a link to our YouTube ads course, which goes very in depth into YouTube advertising below, so you can go check that out. And the next video I want you to check out is our YouTube ads targeting guide, where we go into all the targeting options on YouTube. So that video, I'll have a link up there somewhere, so you can go check that video out. So once again, thanks for watching the video. Cheers.